no. Hey, hey. Oh, look at how shiny I am. Shiny, 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 bad times behind me. I am, for those of you who are paying attention, I will out myself. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I was 2 minutes late to my TikTok live. I was just in a coaching thing, and we were talking about stuff afterwards, and man, oh, such good stuff. Such good stuff. So here I am, and as I like to say, let's make the most of our time together, okay? Speaking of, excuse me, I'm going to plug in my pluggables. Plug it in, plug it in. But yeah, I no need to fear. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. There's no need to fear. I would almost said Maud Betty is here because that used to be my nom de plume, as it were. But good morning, everybody. German Maid and Cat Mama and Abbott Elementary. I saw you. Very cool. Crystal the Phoenix. Cool name. And Kit Kat Mom. It's so funny. I pick out certain names. Don't feel bad. Seriously. I remember on Romper Room, I feel like she never said my name. She never said my name. Oh, I don't mean to not say your name, but some of them I can't pronounce, and then they go by so fast. It's a bit of a difficult. I have an early morning client that I love meeting with. I am an early morning person, but 6 a.m. is a bit. But if you want to coach at 6 o'clock, I do it on Tuesdays. I could probably do it on other times of the day. But good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yep, the sun is out, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. I could, if I wanted to, seriously, just talk in song lyrics and pop culture references because I am Gen X. But good morning. I will talk in real time. I will not try to shoehorn what I say into something that's a pop culture reference. But if I see the opportunity to crack a joke, to sing a song, to say something that comes up in my Gen X brain and share it with you because it may remind you of something, I'm going to do it. I don't need to be so staid and proper and nah. Ain't nobody got time for that. So good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is, and it's so funny, I have my inspirational calendar here. It is not Monday, July 1st. Let's see what my inspirational calendar says here. Okay? Face your fears with the truth that they are all in your mind and they will lose power over you. Holy Moses. If that isn't just well-timed, because that's what coaching's all about, you guys. That's what coaching is all about, Charlie Brown, is noticing the fear. There we go, German Maid. Finally getting a short break from the humidity today after 100+ weather in the past 2 weeks. Doesn't it feel better? And when you feel better, you do better. Here's a way I know that the weather has kind of changed. I was going to say the weather had broken, and then I was going to say morning has broken. Was that Cat Stevens? I think morning has broken like the first morning. I think my mother had that 45. My windows are open. Fresh air is coming in. It's not humid, and also I organically grabbed out of habit. I'm a creature of habit like you are. Out of habit, I grabbed a hoodie. I didn't grab my little cotton robe. Okay, so notice so much of what we do. Decluttering and otherwise has to do with what's going on inside this skin, going inside the nervous system. When your skin is hot, when you're feeling like you can't breathe because it's humid, when you're getting burned by the sun, when you're dehydrated, when you're tired, you're not doing your best work. There we go. User 61644. I was heading to Lake Placid today for a little break. Awesome. Listening while packing. I love it. I love it. Don't overpack. Trust that you've brought the right amount of clothes and that anything that you truly, truly need, you can probably buy there. I always just set this up. I set the bar low when I'm packing. I always say, you know what, there's a distinct possibility that I will forget something or I've brought the wrong thing. When I let myself off the hook, when I don't try to do it perfectly, when I say, you know what, I'm going to imperfectly pack and realize that I may have missed something or, whatever, then I feel better about packing and I'm less harsh on myself. Every time I travel, seriously, I travel a lot. You guys know this. Every time I travel, I am getting better at it, but I still inevitably, like the last time I traveled, I was in Ohio, not just this past weekend, the weekend before. I felt like I brought the right amount of clothes. I could have seriously brought like one extra pair of shoes because my feet nowadays are getting goopy, like different, like I get blisters and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm getting better at it, but it's never perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. Do not strive for it. You'll just set yourself up for feeling disappointed, you know? So lower the bar, do the best you can, realize you're human and you're probably going to forget, I should have probably brought my sneakers, you know? So yes, my house was 77 because the AC couldn't keep up. I hate the heat. Okay, notice that we are all built differently. I am from New England. I was born in New England. My people are from Ireland and all those, Ireland, Scotland, England, all those, that latitude. I am a big baby when it comes to cold. I can tolerate heat more so than my husband, for example. We are all wired differently. So when you learn how you're wired, then you can build your life around what works for you. So German made, the funny thing is, my house was 77 to me. Like, I don't even know what ours are. I know that there's a certain range of things, but I don't like it to be too cold. I'll be walking around with my hoodie on. I would rather be a little bit too warm than a little bit too cold. Other people are different. So noticing what works for you and working with what you do, it's a really interesting way to get in tune. And this is why I am, and if we haven't met before, again, this is where I forget to introduce myself. Obviously, it's a habit. I am Beth. Decluttering life coach. Actually, that feels good. Motorboat. I was talking about a lot of emotional things because I was coaching. There we go. Move around those emotions. Shake it off. Dissipate it. I am Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. Not just a life coach, but a decluttering life coach, because decluttering is a lovely way to get started in paying attention to what you want in your life. Okay? I show up and I do these TikTok lives. Now, I will say this. Today's the 2nd, and we have people that are going to visit us. This is interesting because this has to do with clutter. We have friends coming down from New England that are going to be spending 3 days with us. Could you easily invite people into your house to stay with you? I don't say this judgy, I say it curious. One of the things that decluttering does is it affects your personal relationships. Do you feel comfortable? Comfortable in your nervous system? Comfortable to open your door to welcome friends in? To have them stay over and have them stay over for 3 days? Now I'll say this, I am a decluttering, nope, says Cat Mama. Okay, if that's something that's important to you, just notice that decluttering can help you do that. Now, I will say this, the wonderful thing is, we have our friends coming over, and previously, we would be in a tiz about this. Oh my God, they're coming, what are we going to do? We got to clean, we got to do this. I'm not saying that we're just lazing around until they're coming. No, I want to up the vibe of the house a little bit. So we are going to dust, vacuum, I have a story to tell about an arrow bed. I'll get to that in a minute. Buy some more groceries of the good food, of people are coming over type, not the boring food we eat all the time. It feels good to welcome your friends. It feels good to me to be able to easily open my door and welcome my friends. That if they say, hey, we're going to be in Pennsylvania for a couple of days, can we come and stay with you? Sure. I don't even have to think about it. Versus, I don't know, maybe not. Decluttering helps you in so many areas of your life. There's like a pie chart. I'm looking at it right now because I use it when I'm doing my consultations with clients about how your clutter can affect different areas of your life. But the great thing is, if you want to improve that area of your life, you can start with clutter. So what was the story I had about what do you call it? An arrow bed. Okay, here's an interesting, I'll tell you, listen to a story. So a couple of things about your home and having people over and decluttering. First of all, is my husband and I don't often have people over, and it's the two of us. We don't have kids, and we have a modest 3-bedroom house. So what we do is initially when we first moved in here, we thought, oh, we'll use one of them as a guest room. It would be nice to have a place where people can stay when they come to visit. Well, then we can show the pie chart. I might show you my pie chart. I may not. No. Okay, here. Let me. I will tell my story and then I'll get back to the pie chart. And it's not. Trust me, I will share it. I'm not going to show it to you because I have little things scribbled on it, but you can write it down. We realized that didn't make sense for us where we lived in the house 24/7 to have one room of the house that was set aside for one day a year of when people came to visit. So that's when I moved into this room to use this as my office. He has one for his office. But we are using this room is also my room because it's uncluttered and I have space right here. This is the occasional guest room. So we went and we were setting it up for our friends, and we realized our aero bed is a full size. It's okay for one person, but it's going to be kind of small for a couple, and also especially if they're staying here for a couple of days. Now, this is one of the things where people hang on to things thinking, I may need it someday. Well, we had something, but it wasn't the right thing. The very first thing we did, and I want to encourage you, when you realize you don't have something you think you need, before you go out to buy it, believe you can borrow it. Because the wonderful thing is we have a group of friends and we have a text thread. My husband shot off an email to our friends around, hey, anybody get a queen size aero bed we can borrow for a few days? We have friends visiting. Now he did that. And as we were waiting to see if anybody had it, I realized, you know what? A queen size aero bed is definitely something we want in for now and in the future. This would be a good investment for us. And we did a thing that I have to get comfortable doing is A, spending money, and B, using Amazon. 2 things I really try to think about before I do for many reasons. Then I realized getting that aero bed was going to benefit our friends right now and our friends in the future and make us feel good that we had a queen size one the next time somebody else came over. Now, this is the crazy thing about life, and I bet maybe you have some clutter in your life because of Amazon. No lie, he was able to go online last night at like 9 o'clock in the evening, hit a button, buy an aero bed, and through the magic of the modern world that we live in, it's allegedly going to be delivered between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. Probably by the time I'm done with this TikTok live, we should have it. Now, I don't like to do that often because hitting the feeder button to get what you want can build up the stuff in your house. Okay? But I just say that that is an option. The crazy thing was, but it was cool, is a friend of ours at around 10:30 was like, oh, hey, we've got one if you want to borrow it. Now, it was cool. We realized it would be good for us to have it so that we did invest in it. But it was cool to know that we could borrow it too. So I offer this to you under the guise of if you're saving something, if you're afraid, if you have a fear of not having something that you need when you need it, you can borrow it or you can buy it. So are you hanging on to something because you're afraid you might need it someday? Just a thought. Okay. So somebody was mentioning my pie chart. I will just give you the verbal pie chart. You can make it yourself. It's really a list too. These are the ways in which, these are the places that I like to just walk my potential clients through to just get curious about where clutter is showing up in your life and how it's affecting it. So here we go. We get like a little pie. I like to joke about this. If you've been on a consultation with me, you know. I talk about a pie, or if you don't like pie, it could be a cake, or if you don't like sweet stuff, it could be a quiche, or maybe it's a pizza. Depending upon when I'm doing my consultations with people, I say whatever round food stuff that you can cut into about 6 slices. So I say this, how does your clutter affect your mood? Mental health. You've got your physical health. You've got your personal relationships, your friends, your family, how you spend your money. Your clutter affects how you spend your money. How you spend your time, and, you know, like your hobbies, your career, your relaxation, that type of thing. It's not just about how your house looks. It doesn't. It's about all of those things that pie chart is your quality of life, the quality of all those little pie pieces in your life could be affected by clutter. Okay. Danielle is asking, did you donate your full-size one? Well, legit, Danielle, I will share with you. This happened within less than 12 hours. We have not, but we will. We will look for people who have no aero bed at all, and we will find a good place to donate it. Because we don't need 2 aero beds. And again, this is that quality and quantity. We could save it. Maybe we will. What we will do, here, I'll walk you through the process. I will look through to the future and say, will there be a time where we have more than one person or a couple staying over here? Now, back in the day, notice what I'm doing. I'm here in the present, and I'm looking forward to the future. Am I estimating, could there be a time where people who don't sleep in the same bed as each other are going to stay with each other so that we'll require this or that? I'm going to think about that, because in the past we have had that. My husband's a musician, and a lot of times in the past we have had musicians crash at our house. It happens. And we've had bands crash at our house. Bands hasn't happened in a while, but should we be prepared for it? So I'm going to give it some thought, and I might hang on to it for like 6 months or so, just in case we need it. But it doesn't take up much room, and I also know that, you know, if we don't use it in maybe 6 months or a year, then I'll feel better donating it. You know, maybe there's a time where I've got both of my nieces come, or my niece and my nephew, or my mother and my sister, or my nephew, or somebody might come. And we've noticed too that we have this cool vintage couch. And the cool thing about it is we bought it for a pittance back in the day. It looks really cool. And one of the benefits for a while was the fact that it has this, it's like a fold-out couch. But it's also like, it's a couch from the 50s. So you guys, it's like 60, 70 years old. So it's not as comfortable as it might be. So maybe what we will do is we might keep both of them to see if we need them. And then we won't have to undo the couch. Maybe we'll just use the couch as a couch. So, but notice there's some thought process going. I'm not immediately being like, oh, we'll hang on to that someday. I'm not sure. So I'm walking myself through the steps. I'm noticing what feels good, or what feels, oh, maybe we'll hang on to it for 6 months. 6 months from now, you guys, is like December. Could we have somebody over? I know my mother's going to probably visit us in December because we have plans. Will we want, you know what, my mother would sleep on the, notice that. But notice that decluttering is a thought process and a feeling process that then makes you decide whether I take that aero bed and put it back in the linen closet, or I take that aero bed and put it in a donation pile for some local charity. Okay? I go through this like you guys do. I am not a perfect person who says, I'm great, I'm rich, you're poor, as he says, you're a povo. I'm working through this like the rest of you. But the great thing is I got through the stored clutter. We still have a little bit on the surface, but it's manageable and it's doable, and it's not impacting my mood, my relationships, how we spend our money, our hobbies, our time, my career, any of that stuff. If it did, I would do something about it. I love living in a house that does not nag at me. Oh, you really should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. Whoosh. My stuff just sits around happily, quietly, gathering dust while I travel. So when I come home, it's all there and it's nice and neat, but I have to dust. I want the same for you. Or maybe you don't want what I want. I want you to get in touch with what you want. You know, what do you want? And this is the destination part of it. What do you want your home to look like? Look. How do you want to feel in your home? Okay, I went from look to feel, but how do you want it also to function? Now, these 3 things, if you answer this, you have created your own destination of what you want, something to aim for. I love having a framework. I love having a process. And it's not a rigid process like, I don't like, what is that? A foolish consistency is a hobgoblin of little minds. Trust me, I am not little-minded. and I don't have a foolish consistency, but having some structure, having a routine, having a process to kind of fall back on, to rely on, kind of like if this was a net behind me and it caught me, if I had no structure, I would not have a bookcase. Bookcases give you structure. Bookcases give you places to put things. If I didn't have a bookcase, all this stuff will be in a pile on the floor. So a certain amount of structure is beneficial. But I also don't want a foolish structure just for the heck of it. Because I am a human. I am a flexible human. I am not a rigid machine. As my rigid machine, my computer's like, oh yeah, I'm a machine and I'm going to shut off right now. Treat yourself like a human. Feel your feels. Ask yourself a question and listen for your answer. Here's the question. I'll repeat it again. Write this down. This will help you. The first one is always going to be the easiest because this is usually where we focus. Focus. Get it? Eyes is what it looks like. This is why on TikTok and Instagram and all these things that we hang out on, we are such visual creatures that we say, ooh, I want to travel there. Oh, I want my pantry to look like that. Oh man, look at the inside of that house. Oh, look at that architecture. Ooh, how it looks. Okay, how it looks. How do you want your home to look? So start there where you're already hanging out anywhere. But then 2 other questions to think about. Write these down, answer them for yourselves. How do I want my home to function? Now, I will say this, functionality. Now, I love mid-century modern architecture. I love the architecture of Palm Springs, but Palm Springs houses were built to be in the desert. I don't live in the desert. I have pine trees around me. If I had a butterfly roof, which is a roof that goes like this, it would be accumulating pine cones. Already, we have kind of a flat roof because our house is a rancher. Jolly Ranchers? But I digress. I'm cracking myself up. Functionality. That kind of roof doesn't work when you could put pine cones on it. When you flip it up and the pine cones can fall over. That's it. Now that's a bit of an esoteric thing, but functionality. I want you to think of easy. I'm giving you the answer. How do I want my home to function? I want my home to function easily. I'm giving you the answer to this one. It's I want to easily be able to find what I'm looking for because I know where it is. I want to easily be able to use it because when I go to use it, it works well. And I want to easily be able to put it away because there's a home for it where I found it. Easy, easy, easy. Now the last one, but the most important one, and this is why we kind of waded into it like the swimming pool, is the deep end, is how do I want my home to feel? Now my home, I love my home, right? Home, we're taking such good care of you. I know. My home doesn't really feel things, so I flip that. I say, how do I want to feel in my home? How do I want to feel within these 4 walls that I spend a wicked lot of time in? If you answer these questions for yourself, you are on the road because you know what to aim for. You're now on a road trip. You're here. Now you know what you're aiming for. And then everything you do can lead you towards that or lead you away from it. But it's a road trip, not a commute. Okay? Now, I love this, and I can't read your icon. I apologize. It says, I gave my BF and I 2 weeks, the 13th, to get our place in order as if someone were coming over that day. What a great idea. Pretending, using your imagination. Let's pretend. It's a song my husband wrote with Rhett Miller of the old 97s. It's such a cutie, both of them. Let's pretend that it's midnight. Let's pretend we were moving. I did this. I played this game with myself for a while. My brain offered up this thing for a while there, and it was really funny. And I remembered I said it out loud to my husband. I will share this with you. When we were decluttering and doing things and buying things for this house in the past 5 years-ish, my brain would offer, would it look good in our Palm Springs home? Now I said, this is really funny because we don't plan on moving. We love where we live. At a certain point, we did dream of buying a home in Palm Springs. I'm not going to lie. But we played the game. So the play, having some fun with it is if I was moving to Palm Springs and moving into the house of my dreams, what would I keep this thing? Or would I let it go? Would this look good in our Palm Springs house? Now, the cool thing is if it looked good in our Palm Springs house in my brain, it was something that we kept. If it didn't, we would probably give it away. But the wonderful thing is then we transformed our current home into the dream home on the inside, that it looks like this. It looks like the house in Palm Springs, but we live in Pennsylvania. Okay? So notice these things. Oh, Humblebee, yeah, old 97s, they rock. Rhett Miller, all of them. Use your imagination. Use your playfulness. Dream a little dream. Dream a big dream. What do you dream your house looks like? How does it, and then get your senses involved. How does it smell? Write that down. How does it look? How does it smell? How does it taste? I don't know, what foods are in the fridge of your dream home? How does it sound? Right now, it's funny because sometimes I love having the windows open. I love hearing the birds and the little hum of life going on. Sometimes, though, I live on a kind of a corner of a busy street, and sometimes when there's traffic, it's too loud. But I also know that I don't like it when it's so quiet. I like to hear a little bit of hum of activity. So that's for me. That's how it sounds. How does it feel? What are the textures? Are things scratchy? Are they shiny? Are they smooth? Are they fuzzy? Are they hard? Are they soft? Use these things to play around with it. And the wonderful thing is you are coming up with what speaks to you, what touches you. You know? How does it sound? You know, we talked about what kind of music is playing. Maybe it's the old 97s. Maybe it's Astrud Gilberto. Maybe it's a bunch of nothing. I love quiet, which is cracking me up because my husband makes his living creating sounds for him and other people. Allow yourself to think of what you want. Boop. You. Yes, I'm talking to you because I'm here for you. I want you to think of what you want, not anybody else, not anybody else. This is your dream. This is your dream. You can factor them in. You can work other people in later. But if you're not used to thinking this way, it may feel weird. I have no idea how I want my house to feel. What, lady? I'm planting seeds. I'm not forcefully planting the seeds in your head. It'd be kind of rude of me to come in and plant something in your garden of your brain. What I'm doing is I'm offering you 3 seeds. A couple of seeds. Money seeds. I'm like Johnny Appleseed, for crying out loud. Here's some seeds. What do you want your home to look like? Plant that seed. Even just if you don't answer it now, put that on the back burner. Put it in the back of your mind. Let it percolate. Let it go around. What comes up? When you look around your house today, is that how I want it to look? No. The wonderful thing is when you say no, there's an opposite, which is a yes. Okay? Yes, Cliff Tan, I follow him. Yeah, the feng shui stuff. I was fascinated with feng shui since like the 80s. It's so funny. I do set up my house sometimes in taking those things into account. So thank you for sharing that. But even now, me asking you these questions, your brain wants to answer questions. Your brain wants to find solutions to problems. Your brain and your soul want your life to be the most awesome it can be. Okay? So this is what we can help you with. Now, speaking of help, I'm sensing somebody is drowning in my house. So Humblebee, you're drowning here. I'm sending you a little life raft. What is it? Made out of styrofoam. The Destination Decluttered. Here, man overboard. Here, I'm holding it. Okay. Notice. So Humblebee, and for those of you who are going to be watching the replay of this on YouTube, Humblebee is saying, I am drowning in my house. Stuck and feeling unable to get started. There's so many things. You got it? Okay, cool. You grabbed on. Here, just tread water. Catch your breath. Now I can breathe. But let's parse this out, you guys, because this is really so fascinating to me that I love doing this. Notice the feeling of drowning. All of us can probably conjure up that feeling right now in our bodies. Or not. I'm sitting here at my desk, but I could feel the feeling of drowning. What does drowning feel? Immediately my chest is feeling kind of pressure, like I can't breathe. I feel like the water is rising. I'm getting a constricted feeling. I can't breathe as well. You know, I'm drowning. Notice how right now I'm not in water. but it feels, that drowning feeling is a real feeling. Notice those feelings, and that's where we start. Let's work on that. So, okay, somebody else is drowning too. Here, I have plenty of life rafts, okay? But you have to tread water. I can't swim for you. So here, I'm throwing out the little dinghies or whatever they're called. I get the round ones, like the SS Minnow one. Start with your insides first. You're not drowning. So remind yourself you're not really drowning. It's just what it feels like. Whatever drowning feels like to you physically, do the opposite. If you feel like you can't breathe, life preserver. Thank you, LVT Beth. Us Beths, we got to take care of each other. Feel like you can breathe. If you're feeling like this, go like this. If you're feeling like this, go like this. If you're feeling overwhelmed, even if you're feeling like you're drowning, here, pretend you're pushing the water down below your nose. Below your lungs. Even put your hand down. I call this overwhelm, that feeling of overwhelm, to down. Down. Just think of the word down, down, down. Now I feel like I'm on Rocky Horror Picture Show. Breathe down, slow down, calm down your nervous system, okay? You aren't drowning in your house. It may feel that way, I get it. But notice there's the feeling. When you feel better, when you feel like you're not drowning, even temporarily, you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, maybe you realize you can move around, you can swim. I'm not drowning, I'm swimming. I'm shaking it off. I'm moving my body. Okay? Notice you can calm down and slow down. And then when you slow down, you can notice that when you're in fear and when you're in fear of drowning, you feel stuck. You're not moving and you're not getting started. And that's mainly because you're too busy trying to survive. Your nervous system is all, ah. So we make your nervous system go, instead of, ah, it's going, ah. Everybody, ah. Calming down. Wilbur. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of, it's like an insider joke between three people, so whatever. But down, slowing down, calming down, quieting down. I wasn't drowning, but man, it feels good to just do that. So here, that is a tool in your toolkit. You can use that anytime, everybody, all right? Start with your feels. And if you feel like you're drowning, start not drowning, calming down. They even say that when you're drowning. Don't get all freaked out. Slow down and realize you're not, calming down. Don't get in panic. Get out of panic mode into badass mode, okay? Then, if you're stuck and unable to get started, I want to offer this as a very first tip. A couple of things. One is what we just did, okay? I like to use this road trip metaphor because it's so apparent. If you don't know what you're aiming for, if you don't know where you're going, how can you get started? If you get out, oh, this is so funny. Oh no, you know what? I was thinking it was the, oh God, this happens. I was thinking it was the person who was going to be donating or delivering our thing. I think somebody's been mowing the lawn, so I may need to shut the windows. Notice I can get distracted, but I'll get distracted. Where was I? I was on the road, okay? Are you ever in your driveway, in your car, and you don't know where you're going? That's stuck. You get stuck in your driveway when you don't know where you're going. Do I pull out of my driveway and take a left or a right? I don't know, because I don't know where I'm going, okay? Your destination, what we just defined. So, Humblebee, I sit down with I'm going to have to shut the windows. I get distracted by noises like nobody's business, as I mentioned, so I'm going to make this a more comfortable place for me to do this. Here, look at all this nice stuff behind me. I'll be right back. Notice what I just did too, you guys. Seriously, learn from everything. Learn from everything. It was hard for me to concentrate when I heard noises. This is how I'm wired. It's okay. What I did was I did something to change that. I could try to power through when it was on there, and no, you can change something. I can shut the window. seriously, as soon as I shut the window, I didn't hear those things. My nervous system went, okay, now I can. It's a phrase for my own family. Now I can hear myself think. And when I can do that, I feel better and do better. So that was a perfect example of noticing how you're wired, doing something to change the thing that's getting you out of whack, and then being able to come back. Okay? So if you're not able to get started and you're feeling stuck, it's maybe you just don't know where you're going. This is why you define a destination. And then you can say to yourself, oh, that's where I'm headed? Okay. And then you say to yourself, from here, all right, if I'm stuck, but now I know where I'm going, what's something little I can do today to get myself started now that I feel better and I know where I'm headed? Okay? Yeah, and this is hope. Here, hope. And I am living, breathing, aging proof of this method working. Because I used to be hopeless and stuck and drowning. I seriously was. Hiding under my blankets, listening to the Smiths, being like, we're doomed. Oh, I guess this is what life's all about. Yep, this is as good as it's going to get. And then luckily, I had the tiniest of spark. It practically went out. That was like, fuck that. Come on. Really? You're going to go through this whole life and die and be like, well, maybe in another life. No. Start living your life now. But start small. Start small. That's how everything starts, is small. Little, cells dividing and pennies and dollars and, small things to big things and bricks in the pyramids. Look at all the small to big things. You build something a little bit at a time. I incrementally started changing my life. It has taken me, 30 plus years. But seriously, no. In the last 5 years, it has just been because I got coaching. I did. I resented coaching. I was like, whatever, that's bullshit. Doesn't work, whatever. But man, my life needed something and I didn't know what. And once I started helping myself with some self-help, it helped. And my snarky New Englander interior was like, that's a bunch of bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and my life reflected it. So then when I said, all right, maybe I need some help, got some help, so much better. So now I'm here to help you because I know it works. I'm not here to sell you snake oil or olive oil or any kind of oil or Popeye. I am here to help you with your clutter. And I'm good at this and I love doing it. That's why I show up at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday to help you with it. Okay? I send you that message of hope. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm a left-handed, short brown-haired girl with glasses in a society that likes right-handed, tall, skinny women with perfect eyesight and long blonde hair. I am just a regular person. Sure, I have where I grew up and everything, but what I am here for you is to give you hope. If I can do it, you can too. Seriously. There we go. There you go. Humble, be snarky New Englander. My people. Okay. You know what? Here's the thing I want to say about that is snark keeps you safe. Whatever, that's going to work. That's not going to work. Whatever. Keeps you safe. It protects you from feeling. It protects you from feeling disappointment, but it also protects you from feeling the full range of emotions, love and joy and excitement. I say this, it was like I grew up in mods and rockers. I think of like punk rockers and like hippies kind of being in a different way. Some were like anarchy and then peace and love. It's all I'm thinking of is peace and love. Right? There's a balance in both of us. And what I say is love is the dorkiest of all of the emotions. It is. When you're in love, you act like a goofball. When you're in love, you're like blopping around being like, well, I don't know, doopity-bop, But you feel that. And sometimes you're afraid of looking foolish. You're afraid of looking disappointed. You're afraid of going for your dreams and they're not coming true. But what I was more afraid of, frankly, is getting onto my deathbed and being like, really? Looking back when I was like 104 years old. Why not? 104 years old, I'm on my deathbed. Looking back and saying, geez, Louise, I should have just changed my life right then. I should have just done the thing. I should have just said no to that person. I should have said yes to that opportunity. I should have said, I should have done something differently. So then I get myself back to right now and say, well, if I was looking back at this year of my life, what would I want? What would my future self on my deathbed want me to do right now? And then, at least a few years ago, it was like, get some freaking help. be afraid to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. We're not perfect. Okay? So, there we go. There we go, Grandma. Here's another life preserver of hope. Drowning from clutter. You guys, seriously, you can't drown from clutter because you cannot inhale it. Okay, unless it's whatever. I know the feeling. I'm not dismissing it. But notice that we have thoughts in our head. You can calm down the kids. I'm drowning. You're not drowning. You're not drowning. It may feel that way, so let's do the opposite. Let's breathe. The fear of drowning is the fear of death and the fear of not breathing. Breathe, people, breathe. Out of curiosity, says Quilking, cats and bats. Do you store anything in those train cases? Hell yeah. I don't have anything just for show, and I love containers. I have to watch it. That's why I can share with you when I say watch out for containers, because they can enable you. They can enable you to save things that if you didn't have a container for it, you may not save it. Yes, so for example, I've got, what do I have in that one? I know I've got earrings in that one, and yeah, yesterday, people, I thought I was going to put my weights, working out with weights. I'm not going to keep them there. It's not motivating me to get them, and it's annoying me. I've got bracelets in that. I've got some stuff in that. I know I've got some costume jewelry in that. That's my sewing kit. That blue one over there, right there, is my framing supplies. I know one of these things, my Pee-wee's thing right here, I think I've got cassettes in it of mixtapes that I made back in the day because that's who I am. Yeah, I do. I think things that are just for show are kind of hollow. But I also have the right amount of containers. They fit in this space. I like how they look. Things fit in them. I don't have any more. I've stopped myself from buying them. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. All right. People are talking about overstimulated and having sensory issues. We live in an overstimulating world. So it's up to us to take care of our poor little nervous system who was invented back in the day where you were hanging out in trees and grass and gurgling brooks. It is an overwhelming world, but don't get overwhelmed by it. Protect yourself, take care of yourself, and then you can improve your life and the lives of others. Okay? Haha, scrap lover. I can close the extra bedroom door, out of sight, out of mind. No. I'm going to call you on that because this used to be the out of sight, out of mind room. We would pitch and ditch things in here when we had people coming over. Let me share this insight with you. It may be out of sight. True. You shut the door. You cannot visibly see it. But you know that stuff is there. You do. Kind of like the low-level hum of the weed whacker guy out there. Got to take care of that stuff. The stuff in the bedroom. Stuff I really should get to it. It's there. Every time you walk past that, I really should go in there. You know it's there. It's not out of your mind at all. It's not in your face, right? It's not in your face, but you know it's there. And it is affecting how you feel in your house. Every time you walk past that, you hear the rumblings. Take care of us. Deal with us. I really should take care of that. And it's like, oh, that's right. I should do that. Oh, I should do it. That is so exhausting. It really is. And I know the feeling, so I speak from experience. Okay? Okay. Stacy, papers, books, writing past notes become frozen by past thoughts, coming to a stop because you freeze. Okay. You can thaw out. Notice what freezes you up. Feel the freeze and the thaw out. Read those extra notes. I have notebooks that I wrote to myself in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that. I have saved some of them. I have had insights when I've gone through and read them. Writing down your thoughts is a freaking powerful thing. Rereading them is even powerfuler. It's even more powerful because you learn about yourself. You learn about who you used to be. And when you learn about who you used to be and who you are, you can then create who you want to be. Okay? I love it. Danielle, you must be wicked hot in Florida, coming from Boston. Okay? There we go. Ela today is saying, I have decluttered 2 rooms now. Awesome. Working on the last room now. There we go. Yeah. 80s Girl Forever says it's like that episode of Friends where Monica has a dump closet. No, I did not see that episode. I did not. However, this is a tale as old as time. I remember my mother. So my mother was born in the 40s prior to TV shows. But they used to listen to the radio, and she would tell a story of Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Google it if you care to. But there was this concept of McGee's closet, because my mother uses that all the time, so I Googled it. And it was the thought of, there was this one closet that don't open the closet, because if you open it up, everything's falling out. It's not uncommon, but nowadays, think about the ease with which we can bring things, this overstimulated, hit a button, get what you want world, just exacerbates the amount of stuff we have in our house. Oh, I can get that. Boop, I can get that. It's delivered. Boop, I can get that delivered. And then you get it. Now, sometimes these things work. Yay, it worked for you. Like the AeroBed that hopefully is being delivered soon. If it doesn't work, though, then that's clutter. Clutter is the stuff in your home that doesn't work for you. It either never did or doesn't anymore. Okay? Notice these things. Yeah, my mother spoke of Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Yeah. Okay, I love this. Who cares? I sure don't, 77 says. Any strategies you have for fitting in time when old, health is bad, still working, and newly married? Yes. Make time. Make time. You don't get what you don't ask for, and you don't do the things you don't have time for. And it's funny, because I'm looking for my own time thing. I was moving around my notebooks. This is me. This is, you know what I do? I use a freaking notebook, and I use a Google Calendar. I make time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You can do it. Even if you're old. Old is a relative term. Even if your health is bad. You know your health better than I do. You're still working, so some of your time. So this is the day of the week and the hours of the day and what I have scheduled out. So you may have hours that you're working, but you have hours that you're not. Decide what you want to do and put it on your freaking calendar. You know? So Terry, your mom, you were asking, I will repeat that. Clutter. It's the stuff in your house that does not work for you. It either never did, like you'd be like, oh, I got this spatula, and then I realized it doesn't spatula well, but I'm hanging on to it because I spent a lot of money on it. It either, when you got it, you quickly found out that it didn't work, or maybe it worked for you at some point in your life, but it doesn't anymore. That's when I think of clothing that I have grown out of because I've gained weight because I am in my 50s. It either used to work for you and doesn't, or it never did, but you've just hung on to it. There we go. German maid works 16 hours a day, and I schedule 20 minutes a day. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't spatule well. Isn't it a verb to spatule? All right, I'm just kind of backing up here a little bit because I got these. Okay. Okay, Terry's saying, I just like to pick these things out. My husband started our kitchen remodel, and I have 4 totes of kitchen stuff to go through. Anxiety, ... It's my Boston accent. Dorchester. Why anxiety? I am just curious. This is what I want you to ask yourself. Without judgment, but with lack of judgment, because the judgment's probably giving you the anxiety. With open-hearted, clear, innocent curiosity. Why are those 4 totes giving you anxiety? Why are the items in that tote creating an anxious feeling in your body? Now, if I asked you this in real time, you would tell me something. You have thoughts in your head that are words that would come out of your head, out of your mouth to me in a sentence that I could understand to explain why it makes you feel anxious. That's what you listen to. Why is this making me feel anxious? Well, because... And then we notice what's making you anxious, and we can play around with that. You know? We can play around with that. Is it really true that you don't have room for everything? Is it true that you bought the KitchenAid stand mixer and you never use it? Is it true that you have way too many vintage Pyrexes? I don't know your story, but notice where it comes from. A thought in your head. Words. Just words. Words that can be changed. Words make you feel a feeling. Now I'm not about to sing the monkey song, Words That Never Were True, but if you wanted to, I would. But we have only 8 minutes left, and then I hop back onto a very busy, awesome day. And then I don't do another TikTok live until I think maybe Friday. I've got it written down somewhere. But it's scheduled. It's on the Wednesday. Nope. Friday. Yes, Friday I will do it. I'm taking some time off for the holidays. As you should too. Okay? See, here's a great thing. I love this. Terry's saying feeling anxious about the totes. hanging on to the stuff, having the anxiety. The wonderful thing is Kim Meadows 756 right below her in the comments says, I removed a ton of things from my bedroom and closet, hauled it off the same day, and this is the best part, it felt amazing. It felt amazing. Instead of feeling anxious, don't you want to feel amazing? I know I do. That's why I help you with your clutter. So you go from feeling anxious about it to feeling amazing. All right? That one persona's got a blunt southerner here. Oh, funny. I love how we got to the point, chop, chop, chop New Englanders. Right? I love it. Irma has a friend that helps me declutter. Yeah, I am your help. I can be your friend that helps you declutter. That's why I offer one-on-one coaching. I'm not going to get into a commercial about it because it's paid, so that would be commercial. But what I want to say is you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. But sometimes, I will say this, sometimes your friends can be equally as cluttered as you and they don't know what to do either. It's kind of like, this is where, again, that car metaphor that I always go back to because it's so apt. You could have a friend and you can have, I'm stuck. I don't know what's getting wrong with my car. I don't know. I'm stuck. It won't go. Okay, you call your friend. All right, I don't know what, I would love to help you if I could, but I don't know what to do here. You know what you do then? You call somebody who knows what to do, who all they do is work on getting cars going. That's why I am a decluttering life coach, because this is all I do, is I help people with their clutter. I can pop the hood and be like, oh, you know what? I see some crossed wires. Those crossed wires are usually thoughts in your brain. So let's talk about this. I can help you set up a process so it doesn't happen again. You know? Hey, this is really cool. Grace just said, good morning. Good morning, Grace. I want to share that you have motivated me to declutter my house, and the best part, I'm having fun. Yes, I will not do this unless it's fun. If this stops being fun for me, I will stop doing it. I will. I don't want to stop doing it, so I invent ways to make it fun for me. I burst into song. I show up in my pajamas. I make it casual and easy. Because it doesn't have to be stuffy and boring to get things done. No, we can have fun. We can pretend it's a road trip. We can play with our imaginations. Charlie Brown, I feel like I'm yelling like Lucy Van Pelt, but I'm really more like Sally. Okay? So yes, have fun, people. Because when you are having fun, when your joy and your energy is more of the joy than the fear, of the excitement and the fun, you're going to do more to get yourself where you want to be, and you want to stay in that energy. The only reason we're decluttering is for you to get that energy. So the fact that while you're decluttering, you're feeling that way, you're already winning. You're winning. Friend, you're winning. You are. Okay? So Joy Ginger is saying, hubby's room hoarding. I get a hubs. He's got more stuff than I do. Now he got hurt. I have to try to get in there to help him. It's horrible. Okay. It cannot be easy, but I can help you with that. What I will say is a little bit at a time. Now, I don't know the full situation. This is why I do one-on-one coaching with people, so we can get deeper into the specifics of things, because the specifics is what are going to help you. What I will offer is, if it's truly a hoarding situation, you might need to get some intervention, some mental health professionals, because they deal with true hoarding. But let's say it's not. What I would say is, like, for example, I'm putting myself in your shoes. If my husband was hurt and I had to get into his room, I would ask him permission. I would have him, like, not go in and do it at him. I would try to do some stuff, and I would start with the simple stuff, surface. All I'm going to do is go in there and empty the trash. All I'm going to do is go and get the dirty dishes. All I'm going to do is this next level. I would inform him of what I was going to do. But at a certain point, he would probably be like, no, stop. So you honor that and you stop. But then you go in again. But also realizing why you're going in and doing that. What is the reason? What's the destination? Why are you doing that? You know? You're winning at life, bud. Yeah. So notice that it is a process. You start with the surface, stored, sentimental. You go up to the edge of where your comfort zone is, where your nervous system is comfortable. The click between surface and stored can be one of those places where it looks good on the surface. Ah, shit, now I got to go open that door to that room that I've been walking past. I don't want to do it. But that's the next level. It's a process. But it's an okay one. I know how to lead you through the process so it doesn't feel this all the time. You will feel feelings, but you'll learn how to manage that. You'll learn how to be feeling the feelings and work, honor it, feel it, have it be over, and do something different on the other side of the feelings. Okay? I love this. RBO1960 just said, I just finished decluttering my entire house. Now I am so relaxed. I love it. Relaxed, amazing, stressless. Those are what we're going for. Now, RBO 1960, you may know this already, so I'm not trying to tell you something you already know, but for everybody else, notice that you have finished decluttering in a way, so you've probably knocked down the accumulated clutter. However, this is the second part of the journey, which is much longer. You are here now. You are now officially decluttered. Now what you are in, and if anybody's ever tried to lose weight, you know what I'm talking about, maintaining the level of clutter in your home at a level that feels good to you. And what this requires is a change of habit. If you do not do the maintenance, you will gain the weight back. If you don't do the things you know that are going to keep you decluttered, it will clutter up again. You may know that, and you're like, yep, got it, cool. But I want to remind everybody else that the destination is decluttered, but how you get there is creating new habits so that when you get there, you can live as a decluttered person. Okay? Notice these things. Chunking it down. Grace is saying, I dedicate an hour a day to decluttering. That way it doesn't feel so overwhelming. And seriously, I will tell you, once you get decluttered, an hour a day, I would be hard pressed. My house would be gleaming, and the finishes would probably be pulled off because I wouldn't know what to do. It doesn't take me an hour. It takes me like 5 minutes in my house nowadays. So give yourself an hour, and if you don't use the hour, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm done. Okay? Yep, there is a difference between hoarding and clutter. I agree. Right. Yes, okay. Notice, Joy Ginger, the resentment. Yeah, there's feelings involved in these things. So fascinating, you guys. But I only have a minute left, and then I'm hopping on with a client, and a client, and a client, and then I'm going to yoga, then we get some friends coming over, then I have a consultation. I want to leave you with this. If you're not feeling good in your house, you can do something about it. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to do something about it, and you have to figure out kind of where we're headed. That's your destination decluttered. But I want to leave you with this. You can do something to change it, okay? Now, I am signing off. You have a wonderful holiday. Take a couple of days off. I'll see you on Friday. Somebody was asking about the schedule. It's pinned to the top of my TikTok page, Beth Destination Decluttered. Let's assert our independence, okay? Bye. Boop. Here we go. Can we do it? Yep, there we go. Bye.